The tools required for modification include a 7 mm socket, a 10 mm socket, an electric drill, a hole opener, a large Phillips screwdriver, a small Phillips screwdriver, a steam humidifier, a solid-state relay, a temperature and humidity sensor, a temperature transmitter, a large 3-way valve, temperature and humidity sensor extension cord, blue extension cord, and last accessory a steam humidification feed tube. Now start to cut the holes for the sensor wiring. First you need to prepare a drill and a hole cutter. Then remove the hole opener and remove the reamer. Use an Allen wrench to remove the screw. Next, attach the spring to the drill bit. Install the spring until the drill bit leaks out a little. Then install the reamer and the bit back in place. Be sure to use the screws to lock them in place. Finally, attach the hole opener to the drill. Be sure to tighten it. Do not tilt the reamer. Select the hole opening position at the top of the machine, slightly in the center. If there is a hole at the bottom of the machine, it can be opened according to the hole at the bottom. Be sure to keep the drill perpendicular to the machine. Do not shift the drill. When the reamer is attached to the sheet metal, hold the drill firmly and drill the holes vertically. Keep the drill vertical during the process. Now, install the temperature and humidity sensor. Place the temperature and humidity sensor on top of the machine. Then run the wire through the hole you just made. And then plug the hole with a rubber gasket. Place the connector in this position for the time being. Then prepare the extension cable for the sensor. Find the yellow and white wires. Install the yellow wire at AD0 positive of the PLC. Install the white wire at AD1 positive of the PLC. Then the remaining black and brown wires, install the black wire in the blue area of the two 4-volt terminal block. Find the empty space or use one screw with other wires. The brown wire is installed in the red area of the two 4-volt terminal block. Also find the empty space or use one screw with other wires. After finishing the wiring, take a video for the engineer to confirm. Finally, connect the extension cable terminal to the sensor terminal. Now start to install the temperature transmitter. Install it next to the PLC and the old one. If there is not enough space, you can move all the accessories to the right side. When the temperature transmitter is added, there is already a wiring end mounted on the top. Note that there is a clip on the back of it. Push it down first, then push it up, and it snaps into place. Next, install the red and blue wires on the two 4-volt terminal block. Remove the clear case first. Install the red wire in the red area of the two 4-volt terminal block. Find an empty space or use one screw with other wires. Install the blue wire in the blue area of the two 4-volt terminal block. Also find the empty space or use one screw with other wires. Then install the other two wires. The green wire is installed in the PLC. Add 6 negative. Brown wire to PLC. Add 6 positive. After the installation is complete, gently check the wiring by hand for looseness. If it's not loose, this is done. The next step is to install the solid-state relay. Prepare 2 screws. Then open the relay. Fasten the 2 screws. Then mount the solid-state relay on the sheet met. Pay attention to the red cable near the white cable. Be sure to connect it to the 220-volt terminal block. Find an empty space or use one screw with other wires. Pay attention to the red wire near the blue wire. Be sure to connect it to the 4-volt terminal. Find the empty SP/ACE or use one screw with other wires. Be sure to take a video to confirm with the engineer after installation. Otherwise, the wrong wire will cause the relay to explode. This blue wire should be connected to the Y25 port of the PLC. Remove the existing Y25 blue wire first. Then, connect the blue wire of the relay to Y25 and fix it. Finally, connect the old wire from Y25 to the blue area of the 4-volt terminal block. Here are the steps for converting air-cooled to steam humidification. Disconnect all power to the machine. Then go to the back of the cabinet and remove the 2 white wires. Once this is done, go to the front of the machine. Use a 10mm socket to remove the 4 fixing nuts. Then go to the bottom of the burner head and pull at the feed tube. And pull out the header cable after loosening it. After removing the burner head plug wire, remove the thermocouple wires in the same way. Remove the ventilation bellows at the back of the burner head. The whole burner head can be removed. Next, install the new steam negative cooled burner. First, find the thermocouple wire labeled number 1. When installing it, notice that there is a notch here. It corresponds to a raised area here. Insert the wires and tighten the nut on the outer ring. Then put the burner in against the stud. Find the 2 white coil wires, thread them through the holes to the back of the machine. Then plug the holes with rubber gaskets. Next, locate the aviation line for the burner. Do the same thing to secure the burner aviation line. When it's done, connect the feed tube back. And finally install the 4 nuts that removed earlier. Make sure the ground wire is also fixed on the stud. In the electrical cabinet, connect the two white cables to the heating plate port 1 and 3. Note that the second hole must not be used for wiring. Next, need to prepare a pair of diagonal pliers, a Phillips screwdriver, 7mm socket, 2 sets of extension cables, and a water cooling structure. First, use the 7mm socket. Remove the 4 fixing nuts of the cover plate. If there is a strap it needs to be cut with pliers, then loosen the ventilation hose here and remove it. The next step is to install the water cooling structure. First, cut the pipe ties with diagonal pliers. Run the 2 tubes through the vent to the back of the burner. Be careful not to interfere with the time control switch. Next, install the red and blue wires with the black terminals. Attach them to the 2-volt terminal block. Remove the clear case first. Install the blue wire in the blue area, the 2-volt terminal strip. Find an empty space or use a screw together with the other wires. Install the red wire in the red area of the 2-volt terminal block. Find the empty space or use one screw with the other wires. Then on the water cooling structure, find the black terminal with label the 2-volt. Finally, connect the wires to each other. Then start to connect the other set of wires. install the red and blue wires with white terminals in the two 4-volt terminal block. Remove the transparent case first. Install the blue wire in the blue area of the two 4-volt terminal block. Find an empty space or use a screw together with other wires. Install the red wire in the red area of the two 4-volt terminal block. Find the empty space or use one screw with the other wires. Then on the water cooling structure, find the white terminal with the two 4-volt label. Finally, connect the wires together. After removing the cover of the terminal block, organize the wires and hide them in the slot. Finally, install the cover. Next, go to the front of the machine. Find the two thin hoses on the back of the burner. Connect them to the fittings on the back of the burner. Finally, add the water coolant according to the another video. First need to prepare a 10 mm socket, a large Phillips screwdriver. Then go to the electrical cabinet in the back. Find the two white wires of the electromagnetic heating plate. Loosen the screws and pull out the wires. No need to remove the screws. Then push the two wires in the machine. Now go back to the front of the machine. Take the water tray away first. Then pull out the two white wires. Next, go to the bottom of the burner. Then find the 3-way connector on the side. Press down on the spring pads of the connector. Then pull out the tube that connects to the burner. Find the plug wire labeled number 1 on the back of the burner. Loosen the retaining nut before pulling it out. Remove the plug and pull out the bottom sugar tube. Follow the motor of the burner to the connector of the flight plug. Unscrew and pull out the cable. Then go to the top of the burner. Find the screws that hold the burner in place. Take out the 10 mm socket. Unscrew the 4 fixing screws. Note that there are 2 tubes here. Before removing them, mark the 2 tubes. The tube on the left must be put back on the left. The right pipe must be put back to the right. Be careful not to install it backwards. Remove the tubes by pressing on the spring pads of the joint. Then it's best to flick them to either side. There's a ground wire here. After taking out the ground wire, the burner head can be taken out. Now need convert the water cooling into steam burner. Need to prepare 1 small screwdriver, 1 steam humidifier feed tube, an Allen key, and one 7mm socket. First, use the 7mm socket to remove the cover. Then turn over the burner. Use the Allen key to remove the 2 screws. Use small screwdriver to pry off the base. Gently wiggle the feed tube by hand and slowly extract it. Finally, put the steam humidifier feed tube back on. If inspection reveals that there is a gap between the base and the burner, then use the socket handle and tap gently until it fits. If the feed tube protrudes too far from the burner base, first use an Allen wrench, loosen the 2 fixing screws. Then use the socket handle and tap down slowly. Ensure that the feed tube protrudes 1 mm from the base of the burner and is centered. Do not allow the feed tube to drift, otherwise the burner will make a harsh noise when turning. After keeping the feed tube centered, use a hexagonal wrench, fix the screws back in turn. Then put back the cover of the burner. Be careful to tighten the screws diagonally. so that the whole of the burner cover will not be shifted, prevent the subsequent screws cannot be fixed. Then fix the original 2 base screws. Next, remove the waste pipe from the original feed tube. Press the button on the connector to pull out the tube. Then install it on the modified burner. Finally, place the modified burner back into the machine. Note that the motor is on the left. Note that the 2 holes for the burner head are on the inside. Next, take the 2 tubes that you just removed, connect them back to the original left and right positions, insert them in, and LBT it, insert them and try the tightness. Then go to the left side of the burner. This ground wire must be inserted into it. Next, tighten all the nuts. After tightening, find the number 1 aviation plug under the burner. Align the pilot wire at the bottom of the burner and tighten it. Tighten it down and find the T-fitting. Next, connect the T to the pipe. Then connect the sugar pipe back to the bottom of the burner. Lastly, plug in the plug wire from the motor of the burner, plug it into the original plug. Then go to the top of the burner and find the 2 white wires corresponding to the 2 holes. Put the 2 white wires out. Next, go to the back of the cabinet, pull out the 2 white wires, then connect the 2 white wires to the heating plate. Tighten the fixing screws. The modification is complete. Need to prepare a set of steam humidification structure, 1 Phillips screwdriver, 1 7mm socket, 1 10mm socket, a pair of diagonal pliers, and 1 T-structure. First, place the steam humidification structure under the burner. Then thread the black wire through the hole to the back of the machine. If there are no pre-negative drilled holes, it will need to be reopened using hole opener. Next, locate a white wire on the steam structure. Connect it to the same stud as the ground wire. First, use a 7 mm socket. Remove the nut that was holding the ground wire in place. Attach the ground wire and the white wire from the steam humidifier to the stud and tighten the nut. Then connect the 3 negative way valve V to the labeled white tube. If the pipe is too long to hold the waste bucket properly, it will need to be cut off in a section. It can be restored to round shape using screwdriver or pliers. Then insert the 3 negative way valve firmly into the pipe. Be sure to insert the tube firmly. Finally, find the pipe with the one-way valve. Thread it through the hole in the back of the burner to the pump area. And place the tube in clean water bucket. The new pipe and the old water pipe can be tied together with zip ties. Next, find the outlet pipe of the humidification water pump connected to the burner. Note that it is not the water pipe in the bucket. Connect it to the steam humidification valve. Finally, connect the purge line with the check valve to the hose of the burner. And the thick white tube left over from the steam humidification structure. If the pipe is too long to hold the waste bucket properly, it will need to be cut off in a section. It can be restored to round shape using screwdriver or pliers. Finally, plug it into the pylon connector of the burner. Be sure to tighten the tube firmly. Then go to the electrical cabinet at the back of the machine. Find the black wires with the red and blue terminals. Connect them to ports 2 and 3 on the bottom of the new temperature transmitter. The blue wire goes to port 2. The red wire goes to port 3. After locking the two wires together, check for looseness by gently tugging on them. The last remaining wire is a separate blue extension. Install it in the blue 220-volt area. Then find the remaining white wire from the relay, thread it to the bottom of the burner along with the blue extension cord. Finally, go to the bottom of the burner and find the two white wires for the steam humidifier. Connect them to the previous two wires. Connect the large and small terminals to each other. This is the procedure for installing the steam humidification system. Finally, install all the wires back into the wiring ducts and close covers.